On New Year's Eve, my parents locked the penthouse door behind me and tossed my duffel bag over the balcony railing. It landed 3 floors down in the courtyard fountain. My sister Bethany filmed the whole thing on her phone, laughing so hard she could barely hold it steady. "This is gold," she said, already typing a caption. "When your sister crashes the party looking like a homeless person." The post went live before I even made it to the elevator. I'm Elena Rossi, and 29 years ago, I was born into a family that never really wanted me. My parents made that clear every day of my life, but especially tonight. See, Bethany was the star, the influencer daughter with 400,000 followers who made our family look successful. Me? I was the marketing manager who just got fired for refusing to fake engagement metrics on a campaign. "Integrity doesn't pay the rent, Elena," my boss had said. Neither did my parents, apparently. I'd come to their New Year's party, hoping to stay in the guest room for a few weeks while I figured things out. My lease ended 2 days ago. My savings lasted exactly 9 weeks after losing my job. I thought maybe, just maybe, they'd help their daughter. Instead, my father opened the door, looked at my duffel bag, and said, "Absolutely not. We have guests. Dad, please, just until I find something." "You're 30 years old," my mother added from behind him, champagne glass in hand. "When are you going to get your life together?" Bethany appeared in the doorway, wearing a dress that cost more than my last paycheck. Oh my God, is she seriously asking for money again? She pulled out her phone. "Guys, you won't believe this. My sister just showed up to mooch off Mom and Dad. Again." She turned the camera to me. "Say hi, Elena. Tell everyone about your 3rd job this year." "It's my 2nd job in 4 years, Beth, and I got fired because I wouldn't lie for them." "Sure, January," she zoomed in on my face. "The comments are already rolling in. They think you're a train wreck." My father put his hand on my shoulder, not gently. "You're embarrassing us. Leave before midnight. I don't want you here when we count down." He shut the door. I heard the lock click. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds before the reality hit. I pulled out my phone. 2% battery. I opened my Uber app and my stomach dropped. "Your account has been temporarily suspended." Right. I'd disputed a charge last week when a driver took me on a 40-minute detour. I tried my credit card. Declined. I'd maxed it out, paying my last month of rent. The elevator ride down felt like falling. My bag sat in the fountain, soaking wet. I pulled it out, water streaming from the zipper. Inside, everything was ruined. My laptop, my clothes, my notebooks with all my campaign ideas. Gone. I sat on the fountain edge and tried not to cry. The courtyard emptied out as everyone went inside for the countdown. I could hear music and laughter from 3 floors up. Through the windows, I saw Bethany posting again, her phone in one hand, champagne in the other. The comments on her video were pouring in. Most of them were laughing at me. "Imagine being that much of a failure," one said. Another, "Her parents are saints for putting up with her this long." I walked. I didn't have anywhere to go, so I just walked. The streets of San Francisco's financial district were empty, except for people hurrying to their own parties. I ended up at the Embarcadero, watching the fog roll in over the bay. The ferry building clock showed 10:47 p.m. 1 hour and 13 minutes until midnight. That's when I heard the scraping sound. Not loud, but distinct. Metal on concrete. I turned and saw an elderly Asian woman pushing a shopping cart full of cans and bottles. She was maybe 65, 70. She wore layers of mismatched clothes, and her hands were shaking from the cold. But what got me was her feet. She was wearing sandals. In 40-degree weather, her feet were purple. I looked down at my own boots. North Face, waterproof, insulated. My ex-boyfriend bought them for me last Christmas before he decided I was too negative about my career. They were the nicest thing I owned. I walked over to her. "Excuse me," I said. She looked up, wary. "Please, can I give you these?" I pointed at my boots. She stared at me. "You're giving me your shoes? You need them more than I do." I sat down on the concrete and started unlacing them. My hands were shaking, but not from the cold, from everything, from being thrown out, from watching my sister turn my pain into content, from having nowhere to go. Why? The woman asked. I looked up at her. Because you didn't deserve to be invisible tonight. I handed her my boots and stood up in my socks. The concrete was freezing. She took them, her eyes filled with something I couldn't quite read. What's your name, child? Elena. I'm Margaret. She put the boots on slowly, carefully, like she was afraid they'd disappear. Elena, you look like you need these more than me. I'll be okay, I lied. Where are you going tonight? I don't know yet. She nodded like she understood. The shelter on Bryant Street might still have beds. Sometimes they save a few for after the parties end. People need them more then. She pulled a crumpled $5 bill from her pocket. For the bus. I started crying then. I couldn't help it. This woman who had nothing was trying to give me her money. I can't take that. Then we'll both be stubborn. She pressed it into my hand. Happy New Year, Elena. I hope it's better than this one. She shuffled away with her cart, wearing my boots. I watched her disappear around the corner. The clock read 11:15. 45 minutes to midnight. I sat back down on the concrete and pulled my knees to my chest. My feet were going numb. I checked my phone. 1% battery. No messages. Bethany's post had 15,000 likes. I was just thinking about that shelter on Bryant Street when I heard engines. Multiple engines. I looked up and saw headlights, 12 of them, moving in perfect formation. White Tesla Model S sedans, pulling up one after another like a choreographed dance. They formed a semicircle around me. I stood up, my heart racing. This was either help or I was about to be kidnapped by tech billionaires. The doors opened in sync. People in dark suits stepped out. Professional. Calm. One of them approached me. Elena Rossi? Yes. Please come with us. I don't. Who are you? Dr. Chen would like to speak with you. Dr. Chen? I don't know any Dr. Chen. The woman smiled slightly. You gave her your boots 30 minutes ago. My brain couldn't process this. The homeless woman with the shopping cart. Margaret. Dr. Chen. The 12 Teslas. None of it made sense. I don't understand. Please, she's waiting. They led me to the center car. The door was open. Inside sat Margaret. Except she wasn't Margaret anymore. She wore a cashmere coat over her layers. Her hair was pulled back, her face was clean, and she was holding my boots. Get in, Elena. Let's talk. I got in. The door closed. The car was warm. I started shivering immediately as my body realized how cold I'd been. Margaret, or Dr. Chen, or whoever she was, handed me a blanket. I'm sorry for the deception, she said. I do this once a year. New Year's Eve. I dress down and walk the streets to see who stops, who looks, who helps. She gestured to my feet. You're the first person in 3 years to give me anything. You're not homeless. No. I'm Dr. Margaret Chen. I founded an AI ethics company in 1998, sold it in 2015. Now I run a foundation. We fund programs for people the system forgot. She paused. People like you, apparently. I'm not. I have a college degree. I just lost my job. Because you refused to commit fraud. I know. I looked you up while you were sitting by the water. She held up a tablet. My LinkedIn profile stared back at me. 6 years at your previous company. Excellent performance reviews. Fired for ethical violations that weren't violations at all. You reported the fraud. They fired you for not being a team player. She set the tablet down. Then I found your sister's video. My stomach dropped. You saw that. 50,000 likes in 45 minutes. Impressive engagement. Terrible humanity. Dr. Chen leaned forward. Elena, I'm going to ask you a question. Answer honestly. If I gave you $10,000 right now, tonight, what would you do with it? I thought about it. Really thought. I'd set up a job training program. For people like me. Like us. The ones who got pushed out because we wouldn't play the game. Us? Yeah. The failures our families are ashamed of. Dr. Chen smiled then, really smiled. You just passed a test you didn't know you were taking. I'm offering you a job, Director of Community Programs for the Second Chances Foundation. Your job is to create that training program. Not for $10,000. For $15 million. I stared at her. You're serious. Completely. You start January 2nd. We'll set you up in corporate housing until you find a place. Salary is $120,000 plus benefits. You'll report directly to me. She handed me a business card. But first, let's get you some new boots. The countdown to midnight happened in the back of that Tesla. Dr. Chen and I sat in comfortable silence as the driver took us to her office in Palo Alto. Through the window, I saw fireworks over the bay. My phone finally died completely. I didn't care. Bethany's video couldn't reach me anymore. Dr. Chen's office looked like a tech startup, and a library had a baby. One wall was floor-to-ceiling books. The other was screens showing data visualizations. She made tea while I sat in a chair that probably cost more than my car used to. Why me? I finally asked. Because you saw me. Because when you had nothing, you gave away something. Because you've been knocked down and you're not bitter, you're thoughtful. She handed me a mug. I was you once. Different details, same story. My family chose my brother. I chose ethics. Got blacklisted from my first 3 jobs for reporting harassment. Lived in my car for 6 months. Then someone gave me a chance. I'm paying it forward. What happened to your family? They came around after I made my first $1 million. I said no. She sipped her tea. Money doesn't heal betrayal, Elena. It just makes it more visible. I stayed in the corporate apartment that night. Slept on sheets softer than anything I'd ever owned. When I woke up on January 1st, I checked the news on the apartment's tablet. Bethany's video had gone viral. But not the way she wanted. Someone had screenshotted it and posted it on Reddit with the caption, "Influencer films sister being kicked out on NYE for homelessness." Laughs about it. The comments were destroying her. People found her other posts, the ones where she bragged about her parents' money, the ones where she mocked poor people. Her follower count was dropping by thousands every hour. I didn't feel good about it. I just felt tired. January 2nd, I started work. Dr. Chen introduced me to the team. 15 people, all brilliant, all dedicated to what she called ethical rebuilding. My job was to create a program that would train people in digital marketing, project management, and basic coding. Target demographic: people who'd been fired for ethical reasons, people who'd been blacklisted, people who'd fallen through the cracks. We launched Second Chances in March. Started with 20 participants. By June, we had 100. By September, 300. The results were incredible. 87% job placement rate. Average salary increase of $45,000. We weren't just training people, we were rebuilding lives. Forbes called in October. They wanted to do a feature on the program. Dr. Chen insisted I be the face of it, not her. It's your story, Elena. Tell it. The article came out in December. From homeless on New Year's Eve to rebuilding the American dream. They used a photo of me at our graduation ceremony for the first cohort. Behind me, 300 people in caps and gowns. People who'd been written off. People who'd been told they were failures. People like me. The article went viral. Actually viral, not Bethany viral. CNN called. Then NPR. Then the Today Show. I told my story. Not the revenge version. The real version. What it felt like to be thrown away. What it meant to be seen by a stranger. What we were building with Second Chances. That's when my parents called. It was 2 a.m. My phone rang and I saw Dad on the screen. I almost didn't answer, but I did. Elena. His voice sounded wrong, strained. We need to talk. It's 2 a.m., Dad. Your mother and I. We're in trouble. The SEC is investigating our investment firm. Someone reported us for fraud. We need a lawyer. We need money. I sat up in bed. What kind of fraud? It doesn't matter. What matters is we're your parents. You have resources now. That foundation you work for, they have money. We need you to help us. You want me to ask my boss to bail you out? We're family, Elena. I laughed. Actually laughed. You threw me out in the fountain water, Dad. You told me I was embarrassing. Bethany filmed it for her followers. And now you want help? That was different. We were under stress. No. You know what was different? I was broke and desperate and you didn't care. Now you're broke and desperate and you think I should. I could hear my mother crying in the background. I'm not your ATM. I'm not your safety net. I'm the daughter you discarded. Remember? Elena, please. I hung up. Bethany showed up at my office 3 days later. She brought a camera crew. I watched from the window as security stopped her at the entrance. She was shouting something, pointing at the building. Her phone was up. Streaming. Her follower count was down to 80,000. Most of her sponsors had dropped her after the NYE video backlash. My assistant buzzed me. Elena, there's a Elena Rossi in the lobby. She says she's your sister. She has cameras with her. Tell security to escort her off the property. If she doesn't leave, call the police. Should I tell her you said that? No. Tell her I'm in a meeting. Tell her I'm busy. Tell her the truth. I don't have time for people who treated my pain like content. I watched from the window as security walked her out. She was crying, pointing at her phone. The live stream comments were roasting her. You reap what you sow, one said. Karma is a Tesla, said another. She saw me in the window. Our eyes met for just a second. Then she turned and left. Dr. Chen found me at my desk an hour later. I saw the security report. Your sister? Yeah, you okay? I don't know. I don't feel good about it, but I don't feel bad either. I just feel done. Dr. Chen sat down across from me. When my brother came asking for money, I felt the same way. Like I should help because of biology. But biology isn't loyalty, Elena. These people had 18 chances to choose you. They chose themselves every time. You don't owe them your 19th chance. My parents are going to lose everything. Yes. And they'll survive it, just like you did. Except you did it with grace. They'll do it with blame. We have that site visit to the Oakland location, 40 new graduates today. The Oakland graduation was beautiful. I watched 40 people walk across that stage, certificates in hand, job offers waiting. One woman, Maria, pulled me aside after. I was living in my car 6 months ago, fired from my nursing job for reporting a doctor who was stealing medication. Nobody would hire me after that. Now I'm a project manager at a health tech startup. Because of you, I corrected. You did the work. No. Because you built the door. I just walked through it. That night, I went back to the Embarcadero. Stood in the same spot where Dr. Chen found me. The fog was rolling in again. Just like that night. Almost a year exactly. My phone buzzed. An email from Forbes. They wanted me to speak at their 30 Under 30 summit. Your story represents everything we're trying to highlight, they wrote. Resilience, ethics, and impact. I looked at my feet. New boots. Timberlands this time. Waterproof, warm, comfortable. I thought about the old ones, the ones Dr. Chen wore that night. She told me later she donated them to the shelter on Bryant Street. Someone else was wearing them now. Someone else was staying warm. My phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. This is Margaret Chen's daughter. Mom asked me to send you this. It was a photo. Dr. Chen in her office, holding a plaque. Second Chances Program. 1,200 lives changed. Founded by Elena Rossi. Below that, a note in Dr. Chen's handwriting. You changed mine too. I sat down on the same bench where I'd cried a year ago, pulled out my phone and opened Instagram. Bethany's account was private now. My parents' investment firm website was gone, replaced with a holding page. Under investigation. My own inbox was full of messages. People asking how to apply to second chances. People sharing their own stories of being fired for doing the right thing. People saying, thank you. I didn't post anything. I just sat there, watching the water, feeling the cold air on my face. This time last year, I had nothing. No job, no home, no family that wanted me. Now I had all of that. Not the family I was born into, the family I built. Dr. Chen, the Second Chances team, the 1,200 people we'd trained. Maria and her project management job. Every single person who'd walked through that door we built. The ferry building clock struck midnight. A new year. I stood up, pulled my coat tight, and walked back to my apartment. Not corporate housing anymore. My own place. 1 bedroom in Soma. Nothing fancy, but mine. I had work tomorrow, 50 new applicants to interview. A meeting with the mayor about expanding the program. A call with a donor who wanted to fund our next location in Detroit. I had everything I needed, not because my family gave it to me, because a stranger in purple feet saw something in me worth saving, and because when I had nothing left to give, I gave it anyway. That's not revenge. That's just proof that kindness compounds. You put it out into the world, and it comes back multiplied. Not always from the same people, not always in the same form, but it comes back. My parents never recovered. The SEC investigation ended with criminal charges. My mother got probation. My father got 18 months. Bethany's influencer career never rebounded. She got a job at a retail store, then quit after 2 weeks. Last I heard, she was living back at my parents' house, which they'd downsized to a 1-bedroom apartment in Daly City. They lost everything. The penthouse, the cars, the reputation, all of it. And me? I got promoted. Dr. Chen retired and left me the foundation. Not the money, just the mission. The actual resources went to a trust, managed by a board. But the work, the purpose, the legacy that's mine now. I'm 31 years old. I run a $40 million foundation. We've trained 3,000 people. We're opening our 10th location next month. Sometimes people ask if I regret not helping my family. If I feel guilty. The answer is no. Not even a little. They taught me the most valuable lesson of my life. Family is who shows up, not who shows up in your DNA. Dr. Chen showed up. My team shows up. The people we train, they show up for each other. My parents? They taught me what I didn't want to be. And honestly, that's worth something too. Just not what they think it is. So here's what I learned from being thrown out on New Year's Eve. The people who throw you away don't get to complain when you don't come back. The people who film your pain don't get to profit from your success. And the people who measure your worth in dollar signs don't get to benefit when you finally understand you're priceless. I gave my boots to a stranger, and she gave me a life. My family gave me nothing and expected everything. The math is pretty simple when you look at it that way. Not bad for the family embarrassment,